Hello my dear friends, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I have a very special it's not really a preview, it's more of a first impression haul of the new South Pacific line. I think it's Southeast Asian too. There's a long descriptor for it. There are 4 new candles in this collection, and we've had a little bit of quietness from Bath & Body Works for a bit, which I don't mind. I mean, it gives me an opportunity to catch my breath. I have plenty of candles to burn, and you probably do too. I would rather a company do less rather than more. And that even goes for Bath & Body Works. So I've actually been really happy. But we do have 4 new candles that just dropped to the website and to stores. They sent an email out this morning. So I was really excited, and I went and got all 4 at full price because I love you. Spoiler alert, most of them are going back. And I'm definitely going to be taking them all back just to wait for a sale. But I definitely wanted to give you an impression, and I will tell you which one or maybe 2 I will be hanging on to. But I am so happy today and a little hot, which is why all my hair is up. I have been working like a do-it-yourself kind of thing. I have been working on getting my vintage record player working because it didn't have the right stylus, it didn't have the right cartridge, and to be honest, I didn't even know about all the things that it needed. And of course the parts are non-existent because these companies have completely gone out of business. So I am a very old lady. I was born in 1982, and I actually grew up on records, and my mother, who was actually a disc jockey for a local radio station, had a ton of vinyl. So I grew up on that, but as a kid, I didn't know all the ins and outs of changing cartridges and all those kinds of things. So I am just so excited that my record player is working this afternoon for the very first time. And here's a little video actually of the little nook where my vinyl record player is. If you're interested, I'll let you watch that here. Okay, here's where some of my magic happens. This is my Homeworks display. I usually have a Homeworks candle here, but it is Bath & Body Works right now. This is kind of I call this my Miami Beach corner with the white and the gold. I just got my vinyl out and I put them all here. I'm so excited. Candles down below, and definitely not all of them. There's my beautiful robot. Here are a couple plants that I do not water, and mysteriously they have survived. And look at this! So beautiful. Okay, let's see if we can maybe take it back to the beginning. Listen to that. And the speakers are up there. Big books. Isn't it so nice? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy right now. Okay, back again. Did you love it? Okay, so I have 4 candles here from Bath & Body Works. The first one is Ginger and Hinoki, and it looks like this. Kind of a bright yellow with texture, and a yellow wax, which is really great. Then there is Bamboo and Eucalyptus, which looks like this. I do really appreciate how the glass is a little bit see-through and the wax is colored. We have all range of wicks. This is a core wick. The Ginger and Hinoki is unfortunately the really large and thick ones. We have Cherry Blossom and Soju. Rope-like wicks. And then we have Roasted Sesame. And it looks like this. rope-like wick. So really the only core wick one is the Eucalyptus. The fragrances are created by Linda Song, and the design is by Kenneth, and I believe it is either Chiem or Chiem, Chiem. Kenneth, if I'm mispronouncing that, I really apologize. Yeah, so these are the two folks that created all 4 of these fragrances and looks. In terms of the look and the packaging, thoughts? No. So no is my thought. As I said, I really appreciate colored wax because I'm a colored wax kind of girl, and I do love how it's kind of peeping through some of that glass. But overall, I just think it looks phoned in. And like, when I think like Southeast Asian or South Pacific, like I think bright, beautiful, amazing color. And I'm just not sure that these are serving or giving that amount of color. In fact, the signage for these candles is like bright red, you know, like tomato red. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. This is very much in the genre of like the Black History Month candles that I also didn't love the packaging. Partly it's like a huge block quote. Again, could we maybe get that less information on there? Like, people see the information on the signage, but like, do we really need to put it all on the candle? It's kind of like a PowerPoint that is just too many words, right? They tell you when you're doing a PowerPoint, like make sure there's pictures, very few words, right? I kind of feel like candle labels should be the same. It would have been nice to have gotten something that was maybe more appropriate to some of the foods and ingredients that are listed here. For instance, on the bamboo one, like a few pandas would not have been remiss. If there were pandas on this candle, would I think twice about returning it? Yes, I would. There was on the website, Kenneth has like an explanation about how like paper crafts are really important for like Asian cultures. And so this is supposed to kind of, I don't know, look like folded paper, but I don't really think it does. I think it looks like just kind of paint and like, I don't know. It isn't working for me, I'm not gonna lie. They have done a little bit better of like trying to conceal the seam. But when I think back to like, for instance, that designer collection with Vetiver Glow. Here's a picture of Vetiver Glow. Do you remember the candles in this collection? Yeah, it's a larger label, but like it's a classy looking label, and the actual glass is tinted, and the colors for that particular collection were so bold, so bright, almost like neon like in your face. And I just think they look so fantastic. These candles kind of don't look that impressive, so I'm kind of not here for it. I'm so sorry, Kenneth. Okay, but let's talk about the fragrances. Also, I'm not sure about the black up against it. Like, maybe they should have all been white. I'm thinking, because there's, I don't know. It's just not my aesthetic, and I feel like more could have been done. And walking in the store, like, I did not even notice this, like, the display. I had to be pointed to it. I had to ask for it, and it was standing right in front of me, and even so, I didn't see it. Underwhelming. Okay, that's that. Oh, let me put my microphone on here. I just not had my microphone off when I was doing the moving around and showing you my amazing record player. Okay, so let's talk about what it is that I'm smelling. Let's start out with bamboo and eucalyptus. And it says, I mean, like, it's just Anessa. It's Anessa. Like, they have, I don't know if you can see, but in block right underneath bamboo and eucalyptus, scented candle made with natural essential oils. Like, do we even need that information on the candle label? Is that not self-evident? Is it not reiterated on the bottom label? Why is that there? I don't think that, like, the quote needs to be there, to be honest. The signatures are fine. Could they be smaller? I don't know. I love these like designer collections, and I just feel like They need to really be nailed. Yes? Okay. Close parentheses, $26.95 on these, by the way. Bamboo and eucalyptus. This is the quote, I believe, from Linda. In this fragrance, I celebrate the strength, symbolism, and tranquility of lush bamboo, and a key element in Asian gardens and culture. Yeah, no kidding, even for those of us who are somewhat ignorant of it, yes? Okay. Okay. It's nice, it's just not remarkable. So the fragrance notes on this are bamboo, which I don't even think has a terribly pronounced fragrance note to it. It's pretty subtle. I think it's like kind of green, kind of woody, you know, the things you would expect, but I don't know that it's like a really profound kind of fragrance note. Watery eucalyptus, you're getting a lot of that, and garden lime, you're getting a lot of that too. So it is a lot of lime. In fact, lime is like the first top half of the candle, very bright, very limey. I don't know that it's for me, I would have liked a little bit more of the zest, a little bit more of the peel, yes. This is kind of like a lime juice more than anything else, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't smell synthetic necessarily or artificial, but I would have liked more of the peel, more of the rind, more, I don't know, more texture, more intrigue. It's just a lot of lime juice on top of eucalyptus. And it's a pretty heavy hit of eucalyptus. If you don't like eucalyptus, I don't know that you're gonna love this candle. Yes, there is something vaguely aquatic, but unlike Yumi in the Sea, which also has eucalyptus and aquatic elements, Yumi in the Sea has a baby eucalyptus note that isn't coming across as particularly cool or mentholated or aromatherapy, and frankly doesn't even smell like overwhelmingly of eucalyptus, which is why I assume if it is a eucalyptus note, it's like a baby eucalyptus note. This is a full-fledged eucalyptus note. It is herbal, but I think up against the lime too. It's just two notes that are very sharp and very biting, and they're coming right at you. And while neither one of them, like I said, is synthetic or artificial, I can't say either one of them is like super authentic either, or super botanical, or, you know, it just kind of smells like a Bath & Body Works candle. And I want something a little bit more special. Now, there is a note way back behind or it may even be mixed in with it and it's just being overwhelmed by the eucalyptus and the lime. And I can catch it right on the end of the fragrance. And sometimes I go back and I try to smell for it. Where are you? Where are you? And I can't smell it. And sometimes when I shut the lid, then it comes, it's like the after smell is a beautiful, organic, stripped down, authentic green leaf note. It's like a green leaf, you know? And it's so welcome because it's pleasing and it's sweet and it's authentic. It's a note of real green authenticity in a candle which is kind of full of just really brassy notes that are not particularly special. Does that make sense? For me, it's just not worth it. I will probably take this one back. It just is a little too generic for me, and the eucalyptus and the lime, you have to really like both of them to like this candle. And I think if you don't or are a little shy of that, I think it's going to be a tough sell. So for me, not really a standout. And I do think that the eucalyptus and the lime are going to be a tough sell for a lot of people. Let's go to another kind of biting one, but one that I really like, and that is this one. This one I will keep, Ginger and Hinoki. And for me, it is the standout of the collection, kind of by a wide margin. So the quote on this one is from, again, Linda. I created this fragrance to evoke a sense of balance and harmony, infusing the calming warmth of Hinoki wood, which is wood, by the way, with the fresh, uplifting vitality of ginger from India. So India is getting a little bit of a shout out here. So the notes on this one are fresh ginger, Hinoki wood, and orange zest. And yeah, this is a nice candle. And it is a little bit unique. So the ginger that is used here, and so weird, in the store I was getting mostly ginger, and here I'm getting something very interesting. Oh gosh, it's almost a soft floral. Although I don't know what kind of floral it would be. It is kind of like a woody floral, you know? But it's sweet. I'm not picking up a ton of citrus in it. And in the store, I was getting an enormous amount of ginger. And the ginger that's here is not like a baking spice dried ginger. It is like a true, fresh ginger knob. You know what I mean? And I am so here for that because I really do like ginger as a note. And we get a lot of ginger in the fall period with like pumpkin spice varieties, but they tend to be kind of that dry baking ginger, yes? There aren't that many like fresh ginger kind of candles, and it may be because they don't project very well or translate very well, so we'll have to see. And then there is something that is soft and sweet. And I know that sounds just so vague. You know what? Almost like an orange blossom. After I just said that I'm not getting a whole lot of citrus, almost like a neroli, but very soft. And it is underneath this like kind of woodiness. It's not an overtly woody candle though. I would say it's mostly the ginger and like that kind of neroli. And I like it. I think it's unique. Am I a little concerned about strength and throw? Maybe, especially because some of these elements do seem a little bit fragile, a little bit like upon it being burned, is it gonna like set them all on fire and then they're not gonna express themselves in the same way? Like, I don't know. I really like that one though, and I will keep that one, and I will try to burn it relatively soon. Roasted sesame, and I think this is gonna be like a really popular candle for many of you. For me, it's a bit too gourmand, but God bless. The quote on this one is, "Sweetened black sesame is at the heart of a traditional and historic Korean dessert." And in the parentheses, it has what looks like, I think it might be misspelled. All my friends were South Korean. I think it's tseok. Yeah, tseok. It should be T-T-E-O-K, but here it's O-E-K. Maybe there's an alternate spelling. But it's like a Korean, like a rice cake, right? That can often be sesame, I think sesame tasting, infused, sprinkled. Anyway, close parentheses. The heart of a traditional and historic Korean dessert that is very special to me. Like a carefully crafted fragrance, its creation is a true labor of love. This one and the next one both mention Korea, and the way that Linda is talking about Korea, I wonder if Linda is Korean. The notes on this are roasted sesame, toasted hazelnut, and sweet maple. Oh, there's going to be so many of you that will like this one. And I really hope for your sake that it has great strength and throw and performs amazing. Again, with that pink, kind of almost a peach or coral color. It's really pretty. So this candle reminds me very much of was it Wild Berry and Ube candle that came out in the Neutrals collection in like late holiday season last year. Don't be misled. It is not the same candle. It doesn't have any berries in it, but it is kind of in the same vibe or the same category in that it's a roasty, toasty, sweet, confectionery, almost kind of bakery leaning fragrance that if you did not know it had some sort of like exotic Asian element to it in either the ube or in this case, the sesame, and this particular Korean dessert, you would probably just think that it's a really nice, like, harvest gourmand. Yeah. Super roasty toasty. I'm not getting a ton of hazelnut. Man, I wish there was good hazelnut. Has Bath & Body Works done any really good hazelnut candles? I love hazelnut. I need a hazelnut candle. And I feel like there have been a lot of candles lately that have promised hazelnut and have not given a whole lot of hazelnut. There is like kind of a roasted nut aspect to this, but you've got roasted sesame, and it's a lot of roast. It's a lot of roast and toast, but to the point that you can't really identify what's being roasted or toasted. But yeah, it's nutty. It's vaguely nutty. But is it almond? Is it hazelnut? Is it pistachio? Is it sesame? I mean, it could be any one of those. I don't know that it necessarily speaks directly to any one of them. It's kind of interchangeable. And so in that sense, you're just kind of getting something that's sweet and roasted without really knowing quite what it is. Maple. Yeah, it does have some maple overtones, which is what's giving it that really deep kind of caramelized aspect too. So it's very roasty, toasty, nutty, and then caramelized as in a syrup. It's not so overtly maple that it's a maple candle. But yeah, it's like syrupy like that. Yeah? Yeah, for me it's just not. It's just too gourmandy. I do think this is a little bit of a cozier kind of candle, at least the association for those of us here in North America. I think it's going to be a cozier kind of candle. And don't get me wrong, I think that like gourmand people will burn a gourmand candle at any time regardless. And I'm that way about like certain masculine candles. Like for instance, when Candle 42 came out, yes, it's really a fall candle, but I was happy to burn it in March and April and May because when you're just here for something, you're here for it, like regardless. But I do think a lot of you are going to smell this and be like, so this smells like a good September candle. With the nuts and the toasting and the maple syrup. You know what I mean? That said, maybe other people will have other associations. Unfortunately, there's not enough real sesame here in this candle to make it unique or interesting. And I really wanted it to be. I just think there's so many elements here. Sesame is, I think, on the cusp of becoming a very trendy note, too, for candles. Actually, Stonewall Home has a couple black sesame candles that are really great. It's like kind of avant-garde. And I think if you're going to have a very like ethnically focused kind of collection, you should really lean into the elements that are unique. And for me, again, this just goes too generic. It's just too generic. Like I said, it could be an almond, it could be pistachio, it could be hazelnut, it could be all manner of notes here that are being roasted and toasted. And so in that sense, it doesn't speak to me as something uniquely Asian. And I really wanted it to. But gourmand folks, I think you're gonna like it. Last but not least, Cherry Blossom Soju. Soju is an alcoholic rice wine or rice liqueur. A lot of the Asian alcoholic beverages are rice-based, and it has this lovely color. And the quote on it is, both the cherry blossoms and the Korean tradition of drinking soju are rooted in symbols of friendship and togetherness. In a gesture of friendship, I share a piece of my heritage with you, which is, again, what makes me think that Linda is Korean. So the notes on this one are bright cherry blossoms, jasmine, and splash of soju. This is, again, a very nice fragrance. It is, however, safe and generic at the same time. It is a fruity floral, and unfortunately we've just had so many fruity florals, especially recently. It is nice that it is a cherry floral as opposed to a pear floral or a generic fruity floral. Yeah, I would say that it is a really nice cherry note, and I'm glad that it doesn't go in like the Japanese cherry blossom kind of vibe of just being like a really heavy perfume. But here it really is kind of a bright, fresh, and juicy finish to what is essentially a white floral. What did they say, jasmine? Yeah. I can't even say it's a particularly interesting jasmine. It doesn't, I like it when jasmine has like a really peppery kind of finish to it too, you know? And it doesn't have that. In lieu of it, it kind of has that cherry fruitiness. But I would say it's mostly jasmine. It's mostly jasmine with a little bit of a fruity cherry nuance. And I'm not getting any booziness at all. So I would kind of write off the splash of soju. Again, I just kind of feel like this collection kind of misses the mark in terms of giving us something unique. Yeah? These candles are nice. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think they're special. With the exception of possibly, oh man. I just got the end of this candle. It's almost like a green tomato vine right back behind it, which makes no sense at all. But it's not only a green leaf, it's like an earthy green vine. I am so here for that green vine note, but it's such a small part of this candle. Lime and tomato vine. Ooh, that sounds good. This is the only one that for me, seems like it's fairly unique. Yeah. And I really love, maybe it's not neroli, maybe it's freesia. Freesia? Yeah, it might be freesia or plumeria. Somebody help me out when you get this candle. It's like this really unique floral or botanical that is obviously not listed because it says Ginger Hinoki wood and orange. I get the ginger. Is it the Hinoki wood? But it just smells kind of sweet and floral to me. This is unique. This is unique. It just seems a little anemic, but I will definitely keep this one and burn it soon. Yeah? The other three I'm going to return. The cherry blossom and the bamboo and eucalyptus are nice, but they're not either my wheelhouse or particularly special. Roasted sesame, I think, will be quite popular, especially if it performs well. And I think if you're a gourmand person, you deserve a new gourmand from Bath & Body Works. We've had so many botanicals, so many florals, and even some masculine leaning candles. We have not had as many gourmands as I think we should have, even though I'm not a gourmand person. So I'm so happy for all of you for this candle. And if it performs well, I think you'll really like it. Unfortunately, it's got the rope-like wicks, which means it's gonna burn furiously, and given that it's already got that really heavy roasty toasty aspect to it, I am concerned that this is gonna start getting scalded and burned real quickly, and that's just gonna overwhelm whatever kind of note that is nutty here. It's just gonna kind of be consumed. But I do think, especially if you liked the wild berry and ube, that you'll probably like this one too. I just think overall, missed opportunities to really lean into some avant-garde or unique fragrance elements. And I don't know that it's necessarily doing justice to any of these traditional Asian motifs or fragrance notes. And I really wanted to see that. I wanted them to be more stripped down, more imaginative, more layers, more complexity. Oh, my record is at the end of its situation. I gotta go change it. That's the thing about records. They stop and then they do that, And then you have to use your hands and go over there and it's a thing. Anyway, I need to go do that. I'm gonna list all of these down below. Give me your impressions if you smelled them in store, especially on Ginger and Hinoki. What are we smelling? I don't know. And I'm definitely hanging on to Ginger and Hinoki. I will catch you guys in the next one. So happy to see you. Bye.